The stars were silent that night, but the humans aboard the fleet could feel the weight of the galaxy pressing down on them. The Galactic Council had made its decision. Humanity was banished. Entire fleets were declared unworthy. Their colonies forbidden to exist in any part of the known universe. For centuries, humans had tried to prove themselves, to show that they were capable, intelligent, and peaceful. But the Council, with their towering spires of authority and advanced alien races, had judged them reckless and dangerous. The decision had come suddenly, like a thunderbolt. Ships that had been built for exploration were now instruments of exile. Asterisk, the humans were forced to leave behind their home planets, their cities, their families, and even the stars they had grown to love. Only those who survived the Council's initial purge remained, crammed into massive transport ships, hurtling into the unknown void. Captain Mara stood at the front of the command ship, her hands gripping the railing as if she could hold the stars themselves. She was young, barely 30 standard cycles, but her eyes carried the weight of every human soul aboard. Behind her, families huddled in fear, children clinging to their parents, wondering what awaited them in the darkness. "The Council believes they have destroyed us," Mara whispered, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engines. "But they do not know who we are. They do not understand humans." The void outside the ship was a black canvas, dotted with distant stars that seemed cold and distant. Humans had never faced a galaxy like this before, not as explorers, not as conquerors, but as outcasts. The Council had made sure every civilization would ignore them. No allies, no trading partners, no refuge. Humanity was alone. For the first few days, despair threatened to overtake the fleet. Food and water supplies were rationed carefully. Systems began to fail under the strain of constant travel through unknown sectors. Some ships disappeared into cosmic storms, torn apart by forces humans barely understood. Whispers of fear spread quickly among the exiles. "Will we ever see home again?" a child asked his mother, tears streaking down his small face. She could not answer. No one could. The stars offered no comfort, only a cold reminder that humanity was cast out. But humans were not a species that surrendered easily. Even in the face of death, their minds raced for solutions. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, repairing failing engines, creating new shields, and adapting the ships to withstand the dangers of deep space. Every failure became a lesson. Every obstacle became a challenge. Mara knew that survival alone was not enough. The humans had to prove themselves, even if the Council had declared them unworthy. She called together her senior officers, a group of brave and loyal humans who had faced countless battles on Earth and the colonies. "We are not weak," she told them, her voice firm and unwavering. "They may have thrown us out into the void, but we are still human, and humans do not die quietly. We adapt, we fight, we survive, and one day the galaxy will remember us, not as exiles, but as the species that refused to be destroyed." Her words ignited a spark of hope among the crew. Slowly, the fear that had gripped their hearts began to fade, replaced by a determination that was almost dangerous in its intensity. Humans had always survived. On Earth, they had endured ice ages, floods, wars, and plagues. Now, in the emptiness of space, they would endure the greatest exile the galaxy had ever seen. The first week in the void was the most dangerous. Ships were battered by meteor storms, gravity wells, and bursts of cosmic radiation. One by one, humans proved their ingenuity. They reinforced shields with alien alloys scavenged from destroyed meteors, rerouted engines to escape collapsing wormholes, and built new weapons capable of defending themselves from predators that lurked in the dark corners of space. During one particularly tense moment, a massive shadow passed over the fleet. Alien predators, creatures known only from ancient galactic myths, had found the humans drifting alone. Ships shook violently as claws of pure energy struck their hulls. Panic erupted, but Mara remained calm. She coordinated a counterattack using the limited weapons they had. And somehow, humans repelled the attack that night. As survivors counted their losses, there was a new feeling among them, a sense that maybe, just maybe, they were not powerless after all. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The humans, once considered weak and foolish, began to learn the rhythms of the void. They discovered small star systems, untapped resources, and even remnants of ancient alien civilizations. Some of these civilizations had vanished long ago, leaving behind technology humans could barely understand. But they adapted it, learned from it, and made it their own. And then one day, a strange signal appeared on their sensors. A faint, rhythmic pulse from a distant star system. No human ship had ever been there. No alien records mentioned it. The signal was old, powerful, and mysterious. Scientists aboard the fleet debated its meaning. Was it a trap? A remnant of the Council's watchful eye? Or something entirely unknown? Mara stared at the signal for hours. Her gut told her it was important. This is our chance, she said to herself. This is where humanity's story truly begins. Even as fear still lingered among the crew, excitement mixed with it. For the first time in decades, humans felt like pioneers again, not refugees. But explorers of void was no longer just a prison. It was an opportunity. And somewhere beyond the darkness, waiting silently, was a secret that could change everything. The Council had cast them out, sure that humanity would fade into nothingness. But humans were stubborn, clever, and relentless. And as Captain Mara watched the stars, she whispered again, "They may have exiled us, but they will never defeat us." And with that, the humans of the exiled fleet turned their eyes to the unknown, ready to take the first step toward an empire that would defy time itself. The human fleet drifted toward the strange signal with a mixture of fear and hope. For months, the mysterious pulse had continued, steady, constant, almost like a heartbeat echoing through the empty void. Every time Captain Mara looked at the repeating pattern, she felt something deep inside her. It was calling to them, or warning them. No alien records existed of this star system. Even the Galactic Council had no information. That made the humans more curious. Anything unknown to the Council meant one thing: opportunity. As the fleet approached the distant system, the dark emptiness slowly brightened. A dim, dying star glowed in the center, surrounded by 5 planets. But it was a third planet that caught everyone's attention. Its surface reflected metallic light, far too bright and geometric to be natural. "Run full scans," Mara ordered. The scanners hummed, sending waves of data to the command screens. The results shocked everyone. Structures, towers, energy fields. The entire planet seemed to be covered with the remains of an ancient megacity. The humans stared at the screens in silence, all spreading through the room. "Who built this?" the science officer whispered. "No known race," another replied. "This architecture, it doesn't match any council species." The planet was dead, silent, but the energy readings showed something impossible. "It's still alive," Mara said softly. "Not the people, the technology." This was their first great discovery since exile, a world untouched for maybe 1,000,000 years, full of forgotten treasures. Mara wasted no time. "Prepare landing teams." As the shuttles descended through the planet's dusty atmosphere, the humans were met with a sight they had never imagined. Gigantic towers stood like ancient guardians, their surfaces smooth and glowing faintly with unknown energy. The structures were tall enough to pierce the clouds, yet they looked untouched by time. The humans landed near a broken gateway. Massive doors, 3 times taller than any human building, stood half open, as if frozen mid-movement. Inside, the darkness felt heavy, almost alive. The air carried a strange hum, like a whisper from the past. The first team, led by Chief Engineer Rylan, stepped forward carefully. Every sound echoed through the hollow metallic halls. "Look at these walls," Rylan said. "They're made from a metal I've never seen before." He tried to scrape a sample. His tool snapped. "Unbelievable," he muttered. "This is stronger than any council metal." Another soldier walked ahead and pointed to strange carvings. Symbols, spirals, patterns. The writing almost looked like it was glowing from inside the walls. "It's a language we can't read," he said. "No," Mara replied through the comms. "Not yet." As the humans explored deeper, the halls opened into massive chambers filled with machines. Beautiful, impossible machines. Some floated in the air, held by unknown forces. Others were fused into walls, still pulsing with light. These devices are conducting energy, Rylan reported, but there's no power source. How can that be? Someone asked. Rylan stared at one machine glowing softly, like a living heart. I don't know, but whatever this civilization was, their technology is far beyond anything we've ever known. Suspense tightened as they reached the center of the ancient city, a huge circular room with a single pedestal in the middle. On top of the pedestal was a sphere, smooth and black like obsidian, yet shimmering like liquid. The moment the humans approached, the sphere responded. It lifted itself slowly into the air, spinning gently, and the entire room lit up with blinding white light. Humans fell back in fear. What's happening? It's activating. Rylan raised a scanner. No, I think it's communicating. A beam of white light shot from the sphere and projected a hologram into the air. The image was alien, tall, thin, and glowing. Not flesh, not machine, something else. The hologram spoke in a deep tone that humans couldn't understand. Yet, strangely, they felt the meaning inside their minds. It wasn't words. It was emotion, memory, warning. Rylan breathed heavily. I think they died. This whole species. Extinct. Mara asked what killed them. Rylan turned slowly. Time. A cold silence swept through the chamber. They didn't lose a war. They didn't starve. They didn't get destroyed. They simply aged out of existence. Their bodies couldn't survive their own evolution. The thought was terrifying. A race that mastered impossible technology lost the time itself. But why leave all this behind? Why leave the sphere? Why send the signal? The hologram changed. Images flashed. Galaxies bending. Stars collapsing. Strange energy fields swirling like storms. Mara watched closely. This is the map. No, Rylan replied. This is a message. The hologram ended, and the sphere gently dropped back onto the pedestal. Rylan stared at the scanner in disbelief. This sphere contains knowledge, technology, history, everything this species learned. And it called to us, Mara said. It wanted us to find it. Her voice held a quiet realization. This extinction, it wasn't just a warning. It was an invitation. Humans had been exiled from the galaxy, but this ancient race had chosen them to carry forward knowledge powerful enough to change the fate of civilizations. Outside, the fleet waited, unaware that humanity had just unlocked the first key to an empire the Council could never imagine. And from deep beneath the ruins, the planet's dormant systems began to wake, responding to the presence of their new visitors. Something old, something powerful was awakening, and it had recognized the humans. For weeks after the discovery of the ancient sphere, the human fleet worked day and night to understand its secrets. The sphere had stored thousands of years of knowledge, technology, blueprints, star maps, and energy systems completely unknown to any living race. It was like holding the mind of an extinct civilization. At first, the data was overwhelming. The symbols were strange, the energy patterns too complex. But humanity had something no alien race ever had: relentless curiosity. Teams across the fleet were assigned to decode the sphere's knowledge. Scientists, engineers, and even young students worked together. Every day, they uncovered something new: a device, a formula, a weapon that defied logic. Rylan, the chief engineer, barely slept. He spent most of his time inside a temporary lab built near the ruins. This technology is alive, he whispered one night, staring at a glowing panel from the ruins. It reacts. It adapts. It learns. The more humans studied it, the more they realized how advanced the ancient species truly was. They weren't just builders. They were visionaries. But something else came with the new knowledge. Warnings: the sphere contained messages about cosmic storms, unstable wormholes, and enemies the ancient species once fought. Creatures that fed on energy, drifting silently in the void. We must be careful, Mara reminded everyone. New power always brings new dangers. The first major breakthrough came when Rylan connected the sphere to one of the older human ships. The ship's systems flickered, then stabilized stronger than ever before. It's enhancing our power grid, Rylan reported. The ship's engines hummed with new force. Shields strengthened, weapons sharpened. It was like giving an old machine a new soul. Within days, the entire fleet was upgraded. Humans could travel faster, survive longer, and defend themselves better than before. For the first time since exile, they felt strong. But the Council did not stay blind. Far across the galaxy, deep inside the shining citadels of the Galactic Council, alarm signals flashed. Hidden sensors, placed generations ago, detected an energy pulse coming from the Forbidden Region. Impossible, a Council elder muttered. No one should be there. It's a dead zone. Another elder leaned closer to the data map. Unless the humans survived. A cold silence filled the chamber. Send scouts, the leader ordered. We must know what the exiles are doing. Days later, as the humans were testing their new ship upgrades, a strange disturbance appeared on their sensors. Small but moving fast. Unidentified ships. Mara stood on the command deck, eyes sharp. Are they Council scouts? No, the officer replied. Energy signatures different and aggressive. The ships approached like hungry predators. A dark memory flashed inside Ryland's mind, the sphere's warnings. The energy feeders, he whispered, creatures that live on power. Before anyone could react, the alien creatures attacked. They weren't metal ships, but living beings, twisted, shadowy forms that floated toward the fleet, absorbing light around them. When they struck, human shields flickered. Lights dimmed, power drained. They were feeding. Pull back. Mara ordered. Form defensive formation. The creatures screamed, a sound like tearing metal and deep thunder echoing across the void. The fleet fought back with beams and plasma, but conventional weapons did nothing. They're absorbing everything, a soldier cried. Ryland clenched his jaw. Then we used the new tech. He activated a device learned from the sphere, a pulse emitter. A sharp, white burst exploded from the flagship. The creatures recoiled instantly, their shadows twisting in pain. It works! Ryland shouted. Activate all emitters. Mara ordered. More pulses shot out. The creatures screamed and fled into the darkness, disappearing like smoke and wind. The fleet remained silent, shaken but alive. Humans had survived again, but it was clear they were not alone in the void. Something out there had been watching them, waiting. News spread quickly across the fleet. The old fear was replaced by something new, pride. Humans had faced the unknown and won. For the first time since exile, they weren't just surviving, they were evolving. Meetings were held. Plans were made. Mara gathered the leaders. We must unify, she said. No more division between ships. No more fear. We build together. We grow together. Humanity must rise. Her words felt stronger than any council declaration. The fleet reorganized into a new system. The United Human Exodus Fleet. Roles were given, responsibilities assigned, and a council of humans was formed with Mara as supreme captain. People volunteered for dangerous missions. Young engineers trained under Ryland. Scientists formed research teams. Children began learning the new alien math and energy systems. The humans were changing, adapting, accelerating, their minds pushing beyond limits. The ruins became their main base, named Fort Genesis. It was here that humanity began its greatest transformation. Using the alien sphere's blueprints, humans built something the Council never expected. The first hybrid human starship, powered by both human engineering and ancient alien technology. It was massive, strong, and beautiful. Its hull shimmered like metal and glass fused together. Its engines roared with silent power. They named it the Dawnbringer. When it rose from the volcanic valley and flew into orbit, every human watched, breathless. It was not just a ship. It was a message to the galaxy. Humans were no longer exiles. They were becoming something far greater. Whispers in the galaxy. On distant worlds, rumors began spreading. Have you heard? The humans survived exile. They're building something powerful. The Council is afraid. Across the galaxy, oppressed races whisper with hope. If humans could rise from nothing, maybe they could, too. And in the shadows, the Galactic Council began planning. Humans are becoming a threat, one elder said. They must be stopped, another replied. But it was already too late. Humanity had taken its first step toward an empire that would shake the galaxy, and the Council had no idea what was coming next. The Dawnbringer had changed everything. Its first flight sent a shockwave of pride through the exiled humans. For the first time, their technology wasn't weaker than the Council's. It was different, faster, stronger, and built on secrets the galaxy had forgotten. Inside the ship's command room, Captain Mara stood watching the stars through the large viewing window. The ship's engines hummed softly behind her, almost like a heartbeat syncing with her own. Ryland joined her. "Everything is ready," he said quietly. "Our weapons, shields, engines, all fully operational. We can defend ourselves now." Mara nodded, but her eyes were cold. "Defense is not enough anymore," she replied. "The Council will not stop. They think we are animals who escaped a cage." She took a deep breath. "We must show the galaxy that humans are no longer prey." The first threat. 2 weeks after Dawnbringer's launch, a distress signal echoed through the human fleet. A smaller scout ship patrolling near the ruins was suddenly cut off. Static, then screams, then silence. Mara reacted instantly. Dawnbringer to the front, full speed, all ships follow. When the human fleet arrived at the coordinates, they found darkness. No stars, no planets, just a strange, swirling fog. "Readings?" Mara asked. "Unknown energy field," Ryland replied, "like a living cloud." The fog suddenly shifted, pulling itself into a shape, massive and shadow-like. Eyes glowed from within it, bright and hungry. One word came to everyone's mind: the feeders. The same creatures that had attacked before, but much bigger. "They're evolving," Ryland whispered, "feeding on energy, growing each time." The creature attacked without warning. A beam of dark energy hit one of the human ships, draining its shields instantly. "They're feeding on our power again," an officer shouted. "Dawnbringer, move in," Mara ordered. The hybrid starship charged forward. The creature turned and roared. If the thing without a mouth could roar. Its shadows stretched like claws, trying to wrap around the Dawnbringer. "Hold steady," Mara yelled. Ryland activated the ancient pulse tech. A brilliant white burst exploded outward. The creature shrieked and pulled back, but not far. "This one is stronger," Ryland warned. "Then we push harder," Mara replied. She ordered full power to pulse emitters. 3 massive blasts hit the creature. Its shadow body tore apart, breaking into long, glowing particles. The energy swirl collapsed. The fog cleared. The creature was gone. Silence filled the command deck. Humans had won again, but barely. The trap, the victory didn't bring relief. Instead, new fear spread. Why was the creature waiting there? Ryland asked. "It knew our patrol route," Mara said softly. "Which means—" Her eyes hardened. "Someone told it where we would be." Every officer froze. A traitor? A spy? Or something worse? Council trackers hidden on their ships? Before they could investigate further, the Dawnbringer's sensors detected something else. 3 small objects drifting in space. "Damaged. Weak. But alive. Rescue capsules?" an officer asked. Mara frowned. "From which species?" The capsules were pulled aboard. When they opened, 3 alien figures fell out. Thin, weak, barely breathing. Their skin was pale blue, their eyes sunken but sharp. One of them looked up at Mara with fear and relief mixed together. "Please," he whispered, "do not send us back." "Back where?" Mara asked. The alien shivered. "To the Council." The room went silent. "State your name," Mara demanded. "I am Varen, from the Thallery race. We escaped the Council prisons. They were going to wipe out my people." Mara's jaw tightened. "Why?" "Because we protested," Varen said. "We refused to follow their orders. And now they hunt every Thallery." He looked deep into Mara's eyes. "You humans are not the only ones they exile. You are not the only ones they fear." A heavy silence fell. The humans knew the Council was harsh. But this genocide was something darker. Varen continued in a trembling voice. More races will fall, one by one, unless someone stands against them. Mara exchanged a long look with Rylan. The truth was clear now. The Council was not just punishing humans. It was controlling the entire galaxy through fear, destroying any race that refused obedience. Humanity's exile was not justice. It was tyranny. And now the galaxy needed someone to fight back. The first strike. The next day, Mara stood before the entire fleet in a broadcast. "We were exiled to die," she said. "But we did not die. We grew stronger. We survived the void. We unlocked the secrets of a forgotten civilization." Her voice grew harder. "But now we know the truth. The Council is not a protector. It is a tyrant." Humans across the fleet clenched their fists, anger mixing with hope. "We will no longer run. We will no longer hide. Today, humanity takes its first step." She raised her hand. "We strike back." The Dawnbringer, along with 2 other upgraded ships, set course for a Council outpost on the galaxy's border, a small communication station that monitored deep space signals. "Our goal is simple," Mara said. "Disable it. No killing. But they must know the exiles are no longer weak." As they approached the station, alarms rang inside the Council base. Unknown ships detected. "Prepare defenses." Council fighters rushed out, but they were slow and outdated compared to the human hybrid ships. The Dawnbringer flew through them like a blade through dust. Human ships fired control pulses, disabling enemy weapons without destroying lives. The Council soldiers tried to fight, but their systems shut down instantly. Rylan smiled. "Our tech is beyond them." Within minutes, the communication station was under human control. The first strike was a success. But more importantly, a message spread across the galaxy. Humans have returned. They are not exiles anymore. They are becoming a force the Council cannot stop. And somewhere far away, the Council elders watched in silent fear. They realized something too late. Humanity's rise had already begun. The message Arion sent across the galaxy traveled through quantum relays, star beacons, and ancient transmission nodes. It spread like light across water, reaching alien worlds, lost colonies, forgotten outposts, and even the silent ruins of old civilizations. And everywhere the message arrived, people stopped and listened. Humanity calls all free races. A new empire rises. Join us or face the darkness alone. For many species, the message felt like hope. For others, it sounded like a warning. And for the enemies of humans, it was a challenge. They could not ignore the galaxy change that day. And the human eternal empire awakened in the capital world Eder Prime, once a barren exile world. Cities now shine like stars on the surface. Towering spires, energy bridges, white stone towers, floating gardens. Everything looked alive. Everywhere, flags with the symbol of the eternal empire moved in the wind. A silver human hand breaking a golden chain. Arion stood on the balcony of the high citadel and watched thousands gather in the Grand Plaza. They were not only humans. He saw blue-skinned Tiverans, metal-veined Droken, feathered Quarry, insectoid Hellari, and many more. All of them had suffered under the Galactic Council. All of them wanted freedom. All of them wanted revenge. And all of them followed the humans now. Behind Arion, Admiral Lyra stepped forward. "The fleets are ready," she said. "Every allied species has pledged support. Our numbers grow every hour." Arion nodded. "How many worlds stand with us?" 87, and rising. "Good," Arion said. "The Council will not ignore this." "They already haven't," Lyra replied, handing him a data pad. 4 Council legions have moved near the border. They are watching. Arion looked up at the sky. Somewhere out there, the Council was preparing for war. Later that day, leaders from all allied races gathered inside the Unity Hall, a large chamber built of crystal and stone. A massive circular table floated in the center, glowing softly. Arion walked in, and the room fell silent. General Ral of the Droken stood first. His metallic voice echoed. "We join humans not because we fear the Council, but because we believe humans can win." Selania the quarry flapped her wings gently. Your exile did not break you. It made you stronger. That is why we trust you. Even the quiet Helari mind speaker, Tizik, projected his thoughts. Humans carry fire in their souls. We carry it with you. Arion felt the weight of their hopes. He cleared his throat. We thank you for joining us. But unity alone is not victory. The council grows restless. They fear what we are building. General Rao's metal arm scraped the table. Let them fear. No, Arion said softly. Fear is not our goal. Justice is. We were exiled unfairly. Many of you were oppressed. The council never listens. So now we will make them listen. A quiet but powerful energy filled the hall. Arion raised his hand. The Eternal Empire is not human alone. It belongs to every race who wants freedom, every species who wants dignity, every world that wants to rise. Murmurs of agreement spread. We build this empire for a future where no council can decide who deserves to live, grow, or dream. The leaders nodded. They believed him, but they also knew what was coming. War. That night, Arion walked to the Starforge shipyard, where massive dreadnoughts floated under glowing lights. Engineers from dozens of species worked together, speaking in different tongues yet moving with perfect rhythm. An elderly engineer approached him. Her name was Mira, one of the first humans born on Edera. Sir, she said, wiping her hands, we finished a new flagship. Arion raised an eyebrow. That fast? We didn't sleep, Mira smiled. This ship, it's special. Built from human design, forged with alien tech. A symbol of our unity. They approached the enormous vessel. It shined silver and gold, its hull covered in swirling patterns from different cultures. What is its name? Arion asked. Mira grinned. Destiny Rising. Arion felt a powerful emotion stir in him, prepared for launch. As the days passed, the Empire continued to grow. More refugees arrived. More species swore loyalty. More soldiers joined the Eternal Fleet. In training fields, humans fought side by side with aliens, learning each other's strengths. The quarry taught humans aerial combat. The Droken shared heavy weapon technology. The Helari taught psychic defense techniques. Everyone became stronger together. But soon, dark news came. One morning, Lyra entered Arion's chamber with worry in her eyes. We intercepted council transmissions, she said. What do they say? She hesitated. They call your empire a threat to galactic peace. They say humans must be contained again. They are gathering their full might. Arion closed his eyes. How long until they strike? Days. Maybe less. Arion walked to the window and looked at the stars. They once banished humanity into the dark. Now humanity stood stronger than ever. Prepare the fleets, he said. Send messages to all allied worlds. The council wants war. Lyra nodded. And what do we want? Arion's voice was calm, but it carried steel. We want freedom, and we will fight for it. That evening, the Empire held a massive gathering in the Grand Plaza. Soldiers, workers, elders, children, and leaders from every species came. The sky was filled with ships, all ready for battle. Arion stepped onto the central platform. My friends, he said loudly, the council believes we are weak. They believe exile made us harmless. He pointed to the sky. But look at what we built. Look at who we became. The crowd cheered. We do not fight to destroy. We fight to protect. We fight to break the chains that held us for centuries. We fight so no one ever has to bow again. The plaza roared with voices of many worlds. Arion raised his fist. The Eternal Empire awakens tonight. Lights flashed across the sky as the fleets powered up. Engines rumbled like thunder. And now, he said, voice burning with determination, we march toward destiny. The crowd erupted. The Empire had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Eternal Empire did not sleep that night. Lights burned across every city, every base, every shipyard. Fleets moved into formation. Soldiers prepared their weapons. Engineers worked on power lines and shields. Children were moved into safe zones. Every species, every world, every colony, everyone was awake, because tomorrow the galaxy would change, and everyone could feel it. Arion stood alone in the observatory of stars, a large glass dome at the highest point of the citadel. The sky above him shimmered with thousands of bright lights, but one section in the far distance glowed in a strange red pattern, like a burn on the universe. Lyra entered quietly. "It's them," she said. "Council war fleets. Hundreds of ships. Maybe thousands." Arion did not turn. "How long until they reach us?" 18 hours. Arion breathed slowly. He had always known the day would come, but knowing it was close made the air heavier. Lyra stepped beside him. "We are ready." "Are we?" Arion asked softly. She nodded. "Our allies stand with us. For the first time in galactic history, so many species fight together. Because of you." Arion shook his head. "Not because of me. Because of what we all suffered. Because of what we all deserve." Lyra sighed. "The Council calls us rebels. Traitors. Threats. But we only want freedom," Arion said. "And that makes us dangerous to them." He looked at the sky again, prepared the final briefing. "We march at dawn." In the war chamber, a holographic galaxy hovered above the round table. Alliance leaders stood around it, their expressions tight with fear and determination. General Rao leaned forward. "Council fleets here, here, and here. They plan to crush us from 3 sides." Selani of the Quarry fluttered her wings. "We will defend the sky routes. Our fighters are ready." Tizik, the Helari mind speaker, projected a calm thought. "We sense dark emotions in Council troops. They doubt their mission. Many do not wish to destroy us." Arion nodded. "That doubt may save lives, but doubt will not stop their guns," Rao replied. The hologram flickered. The Council fleet symbols grew larger. Red, Lyra pointed. "Their main force is heading toward Eterprime. They want to end us quickly." Arion straightened. "Then we defend this world with everything we have." He looked at the leaders, friends, allies, survivors. "Tonight, you stand not as separate races. You stand as one. The Eternal Empire is not built by one species. It is built by all of us. If we fall, the galaxy returns to chains. If we win, every being will know freedom." Silence filled the room. Heavy, powerful. Arion lowered his voice. "No matter what happens tomorrow, remember why we fight." Before dawn, the fleets rose. The sky of Eterprime filled with massive silhouettes, dreadnoughts, cruisers, carriers, and long fighter lines stretching like metal rivers. The flagship Destiny rising hovered at the center, glowing silver and gold. Arion walked onto the bridge. A human officer saluted. A Drokan warrior bowed. A pair of Quarry scouts chirping greeting. The bridge felt like a symbol of unity. Lyra joined him. "All fleets report ready." Arion placed his hand on the command crystal. "Broadcast everyone." A soft chime echoed. "People of the Eternal Empire," Arion said. "The Council approaches with fear. We rise with courage. They bring chains. We bring hope." Outside, thousands of pilots straightened. Soldiers tightened their grips. Engineers paused and listened. Arion continued. "They call us exiles. They call us rebels. But today, we show them what an empire the free truly looks like." He raised his voice. "Humanity stands with you. You stand with us. Together, no power in the galaxy can stop us." The fleets roared with sound, engines, cannons, shields powering up. Lyra whispered, "They're here." On the horizon, space ripped open, red wormholes burst like cracks in glass, and enormous Council warships emerged, dark shapes the size of cities. Their symbols burned bright gold. Hundreds and thousands, then more. The sky turned into a battlefield of shadows and fire. A voice came through comms, cold, emotionless. "This is the Galactic Council. Stand down or be eliminated." Arion answered calmly. "You banished us once. We survived. Try again and we will end you." The Council voice growled. "You cannot win." Arion smiled slightly. "Watch us." The first shots burned across space. The Council fired massive energy beams, striking shields of the Eternal Empire. Explosions lit the sky. Fighters scattered into swarms. Dozens of ships broke formation, engaging enemy lines. But the Eternal Empire struck back. Quarry sky fighters dove like silver arrows, tearing through enemy cruisers. Droken heavy cannons blasted holes through Council battleships. Hellari mine warriors disrupted enemy communication lines. Human dreadnoughts fired pure Starcore energy, shaking the battlefield. Arion watched the chaos. Hold formation. Do not break. Lyra shouted orders. Squadron 7, flank left. Shield carriers, reinforce group Delta. The bridge vibrated with impact after impact. An explosion flashed across the view screen. A Council Titan ship fell apart. The first major enemy loss. Cheers erupted across the comm channels. But the Council pushed harder. More ships arrived. Stronger weapons. Heavier assault waves. The Eternal Empire began to strain. Shields at 60%. Right flank collapsing. We need reinforcements. Arion felt fear rise, cold and sharp. But then, something changed. Across space, new wormholes opened. Blue calm, glowing. More fleets appeared. Species who had been silent. World that had been hiding. Civilizations thought lost. All answering Arion's call. At the last moment, Lyra gasped, "Reinforcements?" Arion smiled with fire in his eyes. "No," he said, "not reinforcements. The galaxy has chosen its side." And the battlefield turned. Council ships began to fall faster. Their formation broke. Their confidence shattered. The Eternal Empire surged forward. For freedom. For justice. For every exile, every refugee, every oppressed being. The Council fleets retreated. Slowly at first, then completely. One by one, their lights vanished into the void. The war was not finished. But the first great battle was won. As silence slowly returned, Arion looked at the stars. "We were exiled," he whispered. "But now we shape the future." Lyra stood beside him. "This is only the beginning." Arion nodded. "Then let the galaxy watch. Let them learn what happens when free beings unite." Behind them, the Eternal Empire's fleets glowed like a new sunrise, a symbol of hope, a promise of strength, a future that would truly defy time.